right, it is that time. Again, as we have people wandering in, it is helpful if we all move to the middle so that they can just slide into the edges without being disruptive. But thank you everyone for being here today for our second CHAP of the 2024-2025 school year. Today we're going to be hearing from a panel of spiritual representatives from our local tribe, the Yokuts. But before we get, I am Professor Leslie Keel. I teach history here at Porterville College, and I am the CHAP coordinator. The Porterville College Cultural and Historical Awareness Program, CHAP, was established in 2002 to enhance students' awareness of certain important aspects of our society to which they may previously have had little to no exposure. A theme is chosen by CHAP members each school year, and faculty members across the campus are encouraged to integrate elements of that theme into their coursework. By subtly saturating students with information about the chosen topic throughout the year, the awareness of the entire campus community is elevated. Our theme for the next 2 years, the fall 2024 to spring 2026, was voted on by over 200 students last year. That theme is Don't Stop Believing, all things belief systems, spirituality, religion, and secular humanism. We will be exploring the different ways humans have answered and wrestled with the big questions. Who are we? Why are we here? I hope that you will join us at our upcoming CHAP events, including our next event happening Friday, October 11th at 7 p.m. here in the PC Theater. We will be exploring art and spirituality with Rachel Schmid. Very quickly, I want to thank our maintenance staff, CHAP committee, Roger Perez, Daisy Rodriguez, and President Monterez for all their work and support in making these events possible. A special thanks to James Thompson for graciously moving his class so that we could be in the theater today. I also want to give a quick personal note that this past week, our CHAP committee lost one of our dearest speakers, the most prolific of our speakers, Professor Jay Hargis, passed away in Rome doing what he loved, exploring the history of ancient cities. He gave over 20 CHAP speeches from the time that he began as an adjunct here at PC. In 1991 he taught, and then he started giving CHAPs right at the very beginning in 2002. And so as a committee, we would like to dedicate our entire year and the theme of Don't Stop Believing to Professor Jay Hargis. And I hope he's here with us and enjoying every minute. So today, we are excited to be partnered with the Native American Club to bring this event to our campus. Our panelists today are medicine man and spiritual leader Leonard Manuel Jr., tribal council member, elder, and spiritual speaker Heather Turan, and PC alumni and spiritual educationist Vanessa Manuel. Please welcome our panelists, and we'll hear more from them.
Hello everyone. My name is Maria Roman and I'm one of the CHAP members, and I'd like to welcome the three of you to this important event. And one of the things that I always mention is I'm very grateful for them, because talking about spirituality, I feel it's so personal, it's part of our essence. So sometimes it's difficult and sometimes it's easy to talk about what we believe and all that stuff. So, I want to thank all three of you to be part of this panel. In front of you, you have 13 questions, and no, we're not going to ask all 13 questions. We don't have enough time. How much time do we have, by the way?
About 40 minutes, and then we'll open it up for questions, 45 minutes. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, we'll just go with the flow. So, the first question is in front of you. It says, please introduce yourself, your role in your community, and specifically regarding your spiritual practices. Leonard, do you want to start?
Okay. Okay, first, if we could stand, please, we'll do a prayer.
Yes.
We'll all start off with a prayer. Again, we come to you, Grandfather, in this humble way. We ask for your guidance here today, your knowledge and wisdom, to understand this process that we're taking place. We ask the spirits from our land to come in here and bless everybody here. Bless all the spirits who are here today that seek this knowledge and wisdom and understanding for us to give to the people here. Just guide us today. We ask blessings for that, Grandfather. We ask blessings for our family of God before us who have made that journey home, Grandfather, who are home with their families and our families. We ask a blessing, Grandfather, for the 2 young men that passed away on our reservation, Grandfather, to take care of their spirits, Grandfather, to take care of their journey. And the ones that we love today, Grandfather, the ones that we missed among us, we ask blessings for those spirits, Grandfather, for those people. We ask for this journey of life that you have given us today to give, for this blessing, Grandfather, to celebrate this day of life, this life you have given each and every one of us here today, to carry on, to continue this learning, and believe in ourselves in this journey, in this world we live in today, the hope of our nations. Okay, have a seat. First of all, like you said, my name is Leonard Mania Jr. I've been on many panels a lot of times, all over California, in different places. So for me, I'm not nervous. My relatives sit beside me. They're a little nervous because they're not used to this. But I'm one of those kind of persons that do a lot. I get called on a lot to speak in this way. And so it's also an honor to do this, to be of service in this way, to help people understand who we are as Native American people, as Indian people. And normally a lot of times when we get together, people get together, we always start out with a prayer. You know, our council's doing that also. We'll hear more from Heather. To say these prayers, I'm called on to do a lot of prayers, you know, in different events that take place on the reservation and outside the reservation. I'm also from CHAP, the Tule alcohol program on CHAP, called CHAP up on the reservation that's helps out a lot of people throughout Indian country. I would say Indian country because we get clients from all over the place that come to our reservation and come to our clinic, come to our program. It's a 6-month program. Sometimes they stay a year, they either court order or volunteer. It's to teach them about substance abuse, about alcohol, about drugs, and what takes place. So in this program that I come from and I work on, I've been there about 22 years, going maybe 23 years, somewhere around that time, as a spiritual advisor for the program. I'm also a spiritual advisor for the council and I do different work throughout the community. I'm called on to help out at homes. So if you get bothered at your house, whatever else something's going on that you don't understand that it's spiritual or getting bothered, people getting bothered in their homes, I'm called on in that way to come and be of service to that family. So I do a lot of things on my own, my family, and helping out that way, going to someone's house, blessing the house, doing that spiritual work that I'm called upon to do by the Creator. Because the Creator has granted me to do that kind of work. There's somewhere like a preacher coming to your house and blessing their house. All the things that guy does, I do, or her, you know, that take place in that kind of work. So I do a lot of work outside in that way of helping our people and helping all people. For we're called upon, we help all people. It's not just only Indian people. It could be any nation out there. Anybody that believes in the Creator, Grandfather, God, whatever you want to call Him, whatever name you give Him. You know, there's no barriers in our way of life. For we help all people. And that's what we believe in today, is to help all people. When we're called up to do this work. I run sweat lodge ceremony back home. I've been running it probably since I was 19 years old. And okayed at 19 to run that ceremony. I'm now 66. So if you add that up, that's how long I've been running the ceremony. I also help out with our dancers, our traditional dancers on the res, we dance. And bring back those ways, bringing them back those ways. And that's kind of hard sometimes because in our dances, we don't really allow pictures, only with family members. You take our pictures, and sometimes we might be called on some places. I'll cancel it out because there's going to be too many cameras, too many photos of people filming. So a lot of times in those events, I cancel out of them. Try to keep it much traditional as possible in that way. But things are opening up more and more, so I'll see how it goes from there. We get invited some places, we go to Bishop. There's different places in California that still bring our traditions alive, and they put on these special gatherings. They're called spiritual gatherings in California. Yosemite is one that has one, the Pomos up north, Miwoks from Mariposa, Miwoks from Yosemite. I went down to the place up at Bishop. You go help out there. They have a gathering up there. Besides our own gathering, third week of August, we average between, just say 700 to 1,000 people that show up for our gathering. We run ceremony, we have dancers come in, different speakers come in, and that is put on by our Elders Council. We direct this involved with the Tribal Council. And all departments on our reservation all play a part of that gathering. From everybody from law enforcement all the way to fire that is involved in that event, because that event's so big that we have to make sure we know our escape routes, everything else that take place and that you learn about the fire. Besides if someone gets hurt, we gotta make sure our ambulance is there. And that's about 15 miles up further, up from the reservation, from the main village down below where our homes are at. So I'm involved in a lot of things in that way, in that belief. And my kids, they all dance, not only ceremony, but they also dance powwow style. Dancing, and we also got to learn that way. No matter what you're learning, you got to learn to respect each way, because each way is a direct descendant, I guess you could say, from the Creator. Being of service. We're always told in this world we're only here for two reasons. The first was to be of service. To be of service. And the second one is for our spiritual journey of life. Those are two main connections while we're here on this earthly plane. And there's more involved with that, but we'll continue on. I'll turn it over to my little cousin right here, talk next, and work our way down to our tribal council, who sits on the council for our tribe. Nope.
Nim Hiois, Vanessa Manuel, Nim Noon, Denise Hunter, Nim Nupuk, Vincent Perone, Nim Chi, Toy River Reservation. What I said was, hello, my name is Vanessa Manuel. My mother's Denise Hunter, my father's Vincent Perone, and my home is on the Tule River Reservation. And my role in my community right now is working with elders on the reservation. Prior to this, I worked with the youth. In Washington, youth here, but in Washington I worked with adults at our college. Where I contribute to healing is by sharing love and kindness with all people. Like Leonard said, I'm a loving person, and I feel that area is where I spread my medicine from.
Hello everyone, and my name is Heather Charan, and I was raised on our Tule Indian reservation, and I'm one of those ones where when we talk about our spiritual path and our ways, I'm real sensitive about it, especially coming to speak to the public, but at the same time I see a lot of young generations in here. So I truly hope that your families are teaching you whichever beliefs that you have, teaching you all these things, because this is a great part of our paths in our lives. We're here and then we're gone. What time, we don't never know, but we also always have to be prepared for our journeys. So we got to work on ourselves. So as for me, my spiritual path is I was raised through the churches and Catholic Church and by my grandmother, and whom I love very much. And I had my mom and my dad, but my grandmother was like my mom and my dad, plus my grandmother. So I really cherish her teachings. She took me through all these ways, but then she turns around and brings me grounded back to where we really are supposed to be as Native American people, which we are keepers of the land while we're here. We respect the land, we respect each other. So that is my path as being in me, in how I present myself, to my family, and whoever needs to be, a good day or a bad day, or You always be respectful to people, no matter what conditions they're in. You learn to be respectful. You definitely need to learn to be compassionate about people, no matter what situation, how they look, whatever's going on, even through your minds. Your minds will take you way out. Your mind can take you to be disrespectful, or you can keep your mind in check where you're going to be kind, compassionate, and show that love that's actually inside of you. So that's my skill here with my spirituality. Like I said, I was raised in the churches, and then my grandma brings me back, and I enjoy what she taught me at the end, which is our culture, our ways, and it's really simple. And simple in the way that we do it, but at the same time, if we are so infested with negativeness inside of us, then it's not simple, because we have to learn to break that down inside of us so we can learn to heal. And it has to go deep inside. You can't be part of this way, good way, and then still hold on to all that negativeness in there, especially if it's toward other human beings. I hope.
And I just wanted to say one more thing. I'm very proud to be here, thankful, because when I first came here, I ran out of this room, this theater, during my intro to public speaking like 4 times.
We are thankful and proud of you too. That's awesome. So I want to jump to question 7 for you guys. And if we can start with Heather, actually. What is one thing that you wish those outside of your community understood about your community's spiritual beliefs?
Well, I would like them to understand that everyone has their different beliefs, however they believe. And when we do things like this, I'm hoping that they understand that what we say, if there's a big connection, we connect. Our spirituality is deep. It connects. It only just connects within us. It connects with the earth. We call her Mother Earth. It connects with all its elements. That's where the Native American people and the different tribes, that's how they believe, and that's respect. And I would like the community to, understand that, and hopefully they'll get something good out of it. That's who we are, and that's how we practice. It's not even a practice, it's just in us, and it's respect and respect for everything, which is our Mother Earth. And as you can see, you go back to forward, and you can see the respect that this Mother Earth has had, because it's all messed up. There's everything going on. Everything's modern technology, and everything's piling on top of us humans, and some of us forget where we're really supposed to be at. So that's what I would like them to understand is that.
Either of the other of you like to chime in on that one?
Mine was similar to hers. I just wish outside of my community, people are able to understand and are capable of knowing who their higher power is, because it allows us to connect to our interconnectedness, which is our earth, our water, our culture, and the things that we do to feed our spirits.
The other thing is we have to live in 2 worlds. Our traditional world and the world we live in today. Have both ties. The tough part also too is teaching our kids where they've been, where they're from. There's still a lot of jealousy in this town. The town next to us, Springfield, whatever. There's still a lot of jealousy out there among our people, among other people. And that, and you guys, that's still carried on. That jealousy got to be broken. So part of the teachings is teaching people to break some of these cycles that we have lived that our parents had to go through because of what took place in their lifetime. Breaking that prejudice, breaking that stuff that's going on, all that negative thing that we had to learn from our family because of what took place within this world and how we were brought up. have look at what you're there for, like the young lady. And that's one of the main things the council pushes is education. Education is an important thing for our people. What this young lady here beside me accomplished and still doing. Because when the kids can learn, they can bring back to our reservation, teach our people who still have a hard time understanding it. I'm not really educated. I didn't graduate from high school. I was one of those wild guys in high school. You know, all my brothers and my sisters all graduated from high school. But I was kind of old school. I bounded against high school and the teachings of those books that you get in high school. Tell them that Columbus discovered America and everything else. I'll take these tests and say, we were here first. We were here first. Native American people were here first. This is our land. You know, things like that. I was kind of, I built a lot back in my younger days. But the thing today is like I say, they're teaching your kids and the people out there, hey, we're different. We're learning to understand both worlds. We're having our kids go to education, gain that education. We want to learn that education in whatever field they choose. They teach to be teachers, they teach to be firemen, fire ladies, or whatever it may be. It's out there. So our council does a lot of pushing in that way that when our kids graduate from high school, they're honored in a big way by our council and by the people of those departments. I'll stop on that question for now.
Well, you know, since you brought education, we'll skip to number 9. This will have others. So the question 9 says, how do you feel education outside of your community has impacted your personal relationship with traditional spiritual and practice?
My education experience started here at PC, and I feel like having good teachers like Mr. Keel over here and good mentors like Maria Roman, they gave me the want to go to school. They made it easier to continue my education, and that has aided me exponentially on my educational journey. I graduated from PC in 2019 with my my AA degree in social sciences, and then I went on to go to Northwest Indian College, where I got my bachelor's degree in human services. But my real thing about going to a Native college, and I learned, is I thought I was going to go up there and learn just straight education. But what I came back with was understanding who I was as an individual. I've always been real good with my language. My mom's a language teacher for 25 years, and that was my strong point. And so I always thought that I was strong in my culture, but I found out I really wasn't. They teach you and show you ways to share stuff about yourself and to dig and want to know your culture. So coming back, I feel like I came back a whole person, and I want to give to everybody, every part of everything that I've ever learned, which is education, my spirituality, and be able to show my grandkids and all my people. And like he said, like we love sharing, we love all people. But I really enjoyed going to a Native college because it teaches you a lot.
Okay, for me, I was like J.R., I was rebellious. I didn't want to go to school and all that. But I was supposed to graduate in 1968, but I graduated with my diploma in 2017. So I'm just saying, and that was like, it was trauma, what they call trauma, but it bugged me so much because then when I got to my end, you know, they're telling me, come on, get on stage at Porterville High School. I'm like, no, I'm gonna be sitting up there with all the youngsters, you know, you know, that old, you know, but I did it, and so that's as far as I went with education. I did take college classes way back in the day, but it was like for computers and all that, but nothing really serious or anything like that. But like I said, the spirituality of me is the one that I'm finding within myself, and I enjoy it. It makes me comfortable, and it's just a really awesome thing if you all can find that. To me, there's a difference between spirituality and religion. Like I said, religion, we go to church, you know, they're telling you this and that and this and that. But in reality, you have to find your own personal, your own conversation, your own belief, and what's going to take you forward in a good way. So you have to work on that if some of you are. And I truly hope that your parents, grandparents, whoever is teaching you youngsters about all these things, because it's very important. It's important from the beginning to the end. I didn't start it all again. Like I said, we were all rebellious. We all do our things when we're young, but we do come to our senses sometime in our lives. So that's just the way it was.
And I just want to kind of add to what she said is it's never too late, no matter how old you are, to learn, because I went back to college when I was in my 40s. I'm 50 today, and I graduated 6 years ago, and I'm still learning.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump back up to question 6, because I feel like we're kind of heading into there. How does your community deal with changing values and culture when those changes conflict with your traditional spiritual values and practices? And I feel like whether you kind of were starting to talk about that with the dancing and the photographs and videos, but I'd really love to hear how your community handles when culture changes in the outside world and that comes into conflict with what you guys value.
I think for that one, what I was taught, because like my auntie Heather said, we were raised in our churches. I've been to Catholic churches, I've been to Baptist churches, I've been to our own churches. So when I go into those places, I'm there because the people show us love, show us respect, and we're actually learning the same things but in different ways. So I take in the medicine from everything, whether it's going to church or it's going to our spiritual lodges. I take all the goodness out of it, and I show respect for everybody's culture.
For me, we just got to keep pushing with our, we know, like JR said, we live in two worlds, so we just got to keep pushing our traditional and our spiritual ways to our youth and spread what was handed down to us, and take the best out of we can with the changes that are out in our outside world, the things that, all the distractions and everything that are out there, we just have to keep pushing no matter what.
Back to what Heather said of religion. If you look at religions is made by man. It's all books is written down. Last time that way. But spirituality comes from the Creator. So that process of picking up a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, that's what we do in life. Just like I said, I also was brought up in church, in that way also. But learning, picking a little bit from here, picking up a little from here, to get yourself a better understanding about your life, about that journey of spirituality. Because each one of us will see something different. But it's how you feel within your heart and within your spirit to make that change, to make it possible, what you learn. Because each and every one of us, we got our own road, our own spiritual road to travel, our own journey in life, Look at this, we got a compass that got 360 degrees. And that compass is 360 degrees. That's your life. Every road you choose to travel, whatever direction you choose to travel, there is learning in that lesson. There's that process of spirituality, of that journey. So teaching that journey is a big part. Like I said, my granddaughters, they powwow dance. So we get a lot of powwows. We get at least 12 to 15 powwows a year. Take them to different functions in California, pretty much, and that's even hard, because even the school system today is that you could be in a church group or whatever else, you can take these many days off, these many days off. And when it comes to our religion and our beliefs and our Indian people going to ceremony, there's a conflict with it. They don't want to look at it all the way. They don't want to give our kids time. So our kids get ran up because they miss so many days of school because we're taking them to ceremony. In our way, my kids, that is a ceremony they go to. They're taught that certain dance, and they respect that dance. They're taught about it. They're looked at by elders older than them that sometimes correct them. So our elders that teach in that way, but to realize when we're called to go somewhere, or our family group is doing a giveaway. Let me tell you about a giveaway. A giveaway is where you give from your heart. A giveaway, you say you're called on by your family members to do something special. It's like your birthday, okay? On your birthday, your family gets together and gets you all this stuff and gives you all this stuff and buys you clothes and fancy stuff, whatever it may be. But our giveaway is pretty much the same thing. If someone's honored, we do this thing we call a giveaway. So we spend a whole year, 6-7 months, gathering stuff, gathering blankets, different items that we know family members making quilts or whatever it may be, and buying certain things. So when our giveaway comes, we give to the community and to each individual that we want to honor and are special. And in a way that tends to cost a lot of money, but in a way we're giving back to while we're being honored, while we're being put at this step, at this level, at this time. So there's a lot of things we have to learn, through our teachings in the way we choose, just like you have to learn to find what fits you, to fit you in that value of spirituality, to make that change, to make that conflict, break that conflict. Because once you have a conflict with something, first you have to feel it. You hear it in your mind, you think about it, and you feel it. You feel that conflict. But you got to overcome that conflict by learning that lesson. The lesson that conflict is putting in front of you. And the Creator won't put anything in front of you cannot overcome. That you cannot overcome and you cannot learn from. Because at the level you're at is where they're going to teach you. It's where the Creator is going to teach you. If you choose that lesson, break through that conflict and learn that lesson. From that lesson, you got another lesson, and then another lesson. Another lesson. Because that's like life. Your whole life cycle is lessons. That's what Elder used to tell me. So your life's like an onion, he said. So once you have accomplished the first process, you peel that layer, then you got another layer. You got another layer. So your whole lifetime is learning those lessons. Learning the conflicts. Willing to make change. Make change. Making that change and that process is taking place for your spiritual journey. Because all it boils down to is that spiritual journey. And that's what the Creator is looking at. That's what He's looking at as when we're sitting here. Because the Creator lives with every one of us. We don't put Him out there. He's not out there. He's within us. He carries us. He guides us. It's that faith that you have. That value that you have to make that change and make that step. And when you hit that wall, learn about that wall to overcome that wall. To make that change.
Thank you. You guys touched on this a little bit, but let's, number 4. In your community, what role do elders play in preserving and passing down spiritual traditions, practices, and values?
Yeah.
Okay, my elders choose me to go first. Well, the elders do quite a bit. We also, like she was saying, we have a tribal council and then we have an elders council. And the elder council works together and they put on events. And they have their own building. They got their own building now. So our elders council has their own building like our council does. So they do special things with the elders there in that building within the community. And like I said, closely with the gathering up on the res, they also play a big part of that. Because our elders are also learning too. They're also learning too from what took place. So some of our elders are learning some of the traditions back again too. Maybe they're brought in church the whole time, But now they're finally realizing, hey, there's a part of us that gotta understand this other way. Because remember, we all live in all these worlds. So we got a lot of them, some of them are not traditional. Our the families didn't teach them this way. And so they're asking us for that guidance. I wasn't taught this way. I went to church. I was brought up in church. Because you got to remember, it wasn't until 1978 the Freedom of Religion Act was passed for Native Americans. 1978. We wasn't allowed to do our freedom of religion until 1978. That's not too long ago. For we to come out and do what we do today. It was against the law for us to do what we do today. Back then, before then. Okay. So that's what's the changes that was taking place within our council and with the elders council to do things. And they put on different events where maybe they bring someone from the language program in, someone that does baskets, because baskets, we're bringing back the baskets. The elders are bringing back basket making. They're not make baskets. Different herbs out there, medicine out there, bring people from Tachi. They come in to make saltgrass. And so someone to come in and do sticky nettle, milkweed, different items to make string, make rope, to make regalia. You know, so all of they bring them back to people in to do different parts to start bringing back those ways.
I just wanted to add to what he was saying about loss of our culture. I work with elders right now, and I just came from a meeting that we have, and we talked to our council about all our events that we do go to. But within my learning at my education, I feel like knowing about myself culturally and doing all my cultural activities, and some of them I've had to learn just here recently. So all of those things teach you how to connect to your spirit and who you are inside of you. So for me, that's what grew my confidence and my ability to want to do those things for my grandkids, because I don't ever want to lose who I am as a person, because that's where our strength comes from.
I just want to say, Mr. JR just said it all in a nutshell, and that's what our elders are doing. They put on many things. A lot of our youth go there, elders go there, and it's just happening, and that's a good thing for the community, having our elders and then sharing all the different, like you said, our baskets and salt grass and all these different things. So he said it all. That's all I'm going to say.
Excellent. So a lot of our students are obviously a little bit younger.
Yes.
And so I think a lot of times when we talk about spirituality, I'm going to be doing question 11. I think a lot of times when we talk about spirituality and faith practices, it's older generations speaking to younger generations. So I'd like to hear from each of you about how your spirituality has changed over the course of your life and your relationship with that, because I know many of our students are in their 20s or their teens, and that's a very different stage, I think, and it's nice to hear from older people how their relationship has changed.
Okay, for me, you younger generations, you need to be real careful with yourself. And I tell you this because I'm going to tell you a story, and this is a true story. Like I said, I went to churches and all this, and I did all this, but I was really fouled up in my life, going through everything, drugs, alcohol. It's just my mind was sick, because you can make your mind real sick when you get into these paths right here. And I'm going to tell you, so like I said, I went to church and everything, and I was contemplating suicide, okay? And I had 2 children with me, and I also wanted to take them out because I didn't think anyone else could take care of them but me. So that was my thoughts at that time. And I remember going out in the back. I lived in Fresno. And I remember going out in the back because I just couldn't handle it no more. It was just the ugliness and everything that I put inside of me, I let inside of me and get involved with, it just was just too much for me. So I remember going out to the back of my back door, and I looked up in the sky and I said, please help me, help me. And there was this rotten smell that I smelled. Okay, I mean, it was rotten. And you wouldn't understand that. We understand it, our elders understand it, where it came from and who it was from. So we moved. Okay, we moved to another side of Fresno. And this is how strong your spirituality can get. My grandmother and my family didn't even know where I was at. They never knew where I was at all. We just moved in this new house. I had my brother, my cousin, and I can't remember this third party young man. They just pranced in like if they're coming on their horses and said, Grandma said, you're not doing too well, you need to come home. That's how strong that your spirituality can get once you start learning about yourselves. It's all in you, and you're all teachers, because once you learn things, you want to pass what you learn through your life so that maybe you can make a difference in someone else's life. So my spirituality is very special to me, and that's what it did to me. It helped me. I came back home, and my grandmother, my uncles, all my cousins, they grounded me back to where I need to be. It took me a moment to heal. I still work with myself, even that. That's what you youngsters, try not to go down those negative roads. Listen, I know parents and grandmothers and all, but do this, don't do this. You know, I know it can get in your heads what they're saying, but you listen. Because if you don't listen, you're going to get caught off guard. You're going to get into something that's going to be kind of hard to get out. And if you keep adding and adding and adding, you're going to probably, not saying you will never, but that's what happened to me. I just kept bringing in all that ugliness, all the sickness, all that. So that's what changed in my spiritual life there. That's me, and I just want to tell you, you youngsters, just be careful what you do out there. Okay, and that's it.
And then I just want to add to what she said. Like, I grew up with, we called her Grandma Jenny, but she's really my auntie, and we grew up in doing our sweat lodge religiously every Sunday, and we all had roles that we played during those times. But I believe that, like she said, how the bad things took over, so it's like a balance. It was never really gone. We just had to go back and find it.
Again, that spirituality is a big thing. You know, working where I work at, I came a long ways since I came back home. I used to work with the Forest Service at one time, over that way, different jobs. Anyway, that spirituality is your faith and your belief pattern about yourself and the changes that you're making with yourself. Like Heather said, keeping your mind focused, keeping yourself balanced. When you feel that your mind's slipping one way, you know, get it back, get it focused, bring yourself back to reality. Get back to who you are, you know. And sometimes it's a big awakening when you go through that spiritual awakening to understand really about who you are, what kind of person you're supposed to be, until you realize that person who you're supposed to be. And when you realize that person you're supposed to be, that's when the learnings and lessons start learning and coming more and more, and making your spirituality even stronger. You know, like I said, I went back and forth back in my younger days, and I got hit real heavy. You know, and I mean real heavy. And the spirits hit me so hard, I was hearing voices, spirits talking. Kind of made me go crazy because they're just like you guys, like we're talking now, just like this, talking, doing things. Made me go crazy for a little bit. One of my cousins, a man named Joe Carrillo, had to call in 2 medicine men to come in and doctor me in the sweat lodge. You know, they locked me up for a little while. My mom and dad got me out. And then meanwhile, these 2 doctors came in. They had a 4-day doctoring short for me. Well, it wasn't for these doctors and the way they believed in our way, I never would have been cured. I wouldn't be here today, probably. I probably would have been locked up in a crazy house. That's how hard they hit me because of what I was doing. With the partying and the drinking I was drinking, you know. I couldn't even hold a beer in my hand. When I finally couldn't drink, I couldn't even hold a beer in my hand. I was throwing up blood. But right before that, what you call demon spirits out there, spirits that come around that bother guys that are drinking, alcohol guys that are drinking, family members that are drinking and boozing. I used to have the guy, like Heather was talking about, that smell. Maybe the little men. You talk about little people, so that's bothering you. The spirits would leave me alone once I started drinking again. But it got to a point where I couldn't control my drinking and couldn't hold a can. And then they hit me hard. So things happen, you know, real hard things sometimes. And that's one of the things that made me wake up. And then with the help of my cousin, and like Heather said, her uncle Johnny Franco, Phil D. Hunter, and different people, Raymond Stone, Julius Murray, and these older people picked me up. They would take me around the ceremonial, take me to ceremonial, take me to gatherings, take me when they were building a sweat lodge somewhere. Because in the early 70s, that was a wake-up call for our Indian people. People on reservations were getting bothered very, very heavy for that spirituality because of what was taking place on the reservations. And our name for the devil is called Hitchawaya. That spirit and those demons were attacking a lot of reservations at that time. And these people were being called in to come around the sweat lodge, put up a sweat lodge. They get people to take care of those sweat lodges in those areas. It was a tough time back in the early 70s with our people all over California. And that's one process that took place. And I was one of the guys that was a part of it, of that process that took place back then. You know, especially when you go to a place and you see things happening. Good.
Good. Thank you very much for sharing some personal information. We do have the last one, number 13. Are there any other aspects of your spirituality and beliefs you would like to share with us today that you haven't already shared?
Or anything you want to hit harder?
Anything else? Oh.
I just want to say, because I hear it over and over when I hear everybody speak, but for yourself, for myself, doing those things like going out and building the sweat lodges and making our pine nut necklaces and going out and finding the materials to do that, all of those things are what is going to keep you whole and make you understand who you are, and all of those, I feel like it's given me a greater confidence to stay close to my spirituality, and it makes us super strong, I think. And I still do it in my spare time when I'm not at work. Well, I share my language at work too, but like on the weekends I'll go and make earrings at different programs in our community.
For me, I just want to say, we said a lot of stuff here. I just want everyone, especially you youngers, the younger ones is the ones that always got to be taught the way we were, you know, taught. But just take care of yourselves and find your own peace. You need to find your own peace and do things that keeps you like down to earth and like I said, try not to let a lot of negative things get inside. Don't be doing them if it's possible. Just take care of yourselves because it's very important. And if you don't get it now, maybe when you get older, you know, maybe something will hit you and you'll say, oh, that's what that lady was saying up there. You might, you know, it might hit you because that's what happened to us, all of us. Our parents and grandparents keep just putting things into our minds and just hammering them in there, and we didn't pay attention, but through my life, boom, every now and then it hit, and I knew what they were talking about. So take care of yourselves.
And another important thing is find time to understand your spirituality and your culture, because I know for myself in the past, that's what I did for my own culture. I didn't make time. So now I make time by reading our creation stories to my grandkids, or teaching them how to bead and how to clean our pine nuts and make jewelry. We have to make time for our spirituality.
There's one big word out there that you guys got, meditation. Meditation's a key, is one of the keys that you get in touch with your spirituality and stronger. Learn to meditate. And by meditating, like you said, just relaxing your mind, sitting there on a chair, good chair, getting yourself focused and pray. You know, there's many ways you can meditate. Maybe so you might have meditated before you go to college. Seeing yourself filling out the application. build an application, make an application to go to college. Or maybe you're looking at a job, so you can meditate on that job. You know, looking at yourself, meditate on that job. You know, filling out the application. Maybe you're looking at a little healing. Maybe you're troubled, your mind's troubled. Well, you know a special place, you remember a special place you should like to go. So in your meditation, I'll use this example. Say like you use the meditation for a river, or a stream, or a waterfall. So if you see yourself walking to that waterfall, as you get closer to the waterfall, you see yourself getting into that waterfall. There's a waterfall rushing down over your body. You're feeling that water blessing you, cleaning you up. And you feel that water. And in your meditation, you're bringing yourself down, feeling that water come through the top of your head and working its way up, cleaning you up, doctoring yourself up, cleaning your spirit up. So you're asking for cleansing for your spirit. You let yourself heal, feel yourself healing, and go through the whole process of healing. And then waking yourself up nice and slow, feeling alive again. So there are many ways that you could do meditation for healing, for that spirituality and being connected. You know, prayer in the morning, prayer in the evening. You say there's 2 times you also go into a meditation stage. It's right before you go to sleep. What they call that dream world, right before you sleep. I think there's a name for it called alpha. And there's different words out there, you can find different books that talk about these things. But in that stage, right before you go to sleep, it's like a prayer stage, you're praying. Right before you go to bed, you're praying. And then you go out. Right when you wake up early in the morning, it's that same stage. You're waking up, you bring yourself back, and you're seeing yourself in your dream world. Okay, those dream worlds are important. Those dream worlds, you can connect in those dream worlds. Having that connection. Just like Heather said about her grandma, having that connection. So you get those connections in that way. Your family members, moms, dads, brothers, you're close to your brother, and also you feel this urge that you need to call him. Because you're already focused. Your spirituality is so focused that you can feel something's going on. Then you call him up. It's like Heather says, you got to call, they came and picked her up. You get to feel that spirit, who you are. Feel your spirit, who you are. That's the important thing. Is to have that connection with yourself so you can make it possible. So you make it come into reality. And that belief that you have to have that faith, you know, faith in the Creator, faith in yourself. But first, it has to start with yourself. Having that faith within yourself. For that spirituality to work. To get that focus back. To get your mind strong, your body strong. You know, where you guys are here today is a good thing. Real good thing. You guys got family members that are out there. Some are way out there. But you pray for them all the time because of your family. Maybe someday you help them, bring them back around. Bring them back to reality. Hey, bro, you're going too far. You're doing too much. Relax. I'm there for you. And the main thing is let people out to know you're there for them. No matter what they're doing, you're there for them. What your family are doing, you're there for them. What mom and dad's doing, you're there for them. What brother's doing, you're there for them. Cousin, whoever it may be, that someday you can be of service and help them out. Again, it's back to being of service. Being of service and for your own spiritual journey and making it all possible. Or you only make it possible. Nobody makes it for you. And like this old saying goes, nobody's going to walk it for you. Nobody's going to walk it for you. You walk that path that you choose. And as great as chosen for you.
Thank you very much. First, I wanted to acknowledge Vanessa. Vanessa's responsible for putting the panel together. Didn't she do a wonderful job?
Yes, thank you so much. You guys were amazing, and so we actually don't have time for questions, which I feel a little bad about, but I was just so fascinated. And I gotta say, on a personal note, I am coming out of this with a lot of things as someone who's on my own kind of journey between religion and spirituality. I've learned a lot about maybe embracing my own cultural heritage with religion, but taking the spirituality, and I really appreciate that. So, thank you, everyone. Can we get another round of applause for our panelists? Again, our next event is going to be October 11th.